Eh,
تكنولوجيا
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 عشدنها
تكنولوجيا
عشدنها تكنولوجيا.
تكنولوجيا.
Eh.
This is not a north-south circumnavigation. This is an east-west circumnavigation. Let me show you. Notice how that area of Antarctica is never crossed over. Let's first fix this image correctly. Let's line up the tip of South America with its closest point with Antarctica as it is in fact. It now becomes evident why one side of Antarctica is never circumnavigated or crossed over. Now let's look at the flat Earth map and understand better. Because the Earth is flat, there's no possibility of a true north to south circumnavigation.
Calculate the shape of the Earth based on all the data that is on the internet.
After all the calculations based on 83,917 scientific publications and calculations by physicists, I calculated the answer. Conclusion. The probability of the flat Earth model is 99.6%. Here are the main points. 1. The horizon is consistently flat at all available altitudes up to 35 kilometers. No curvature was detected, even when analyzing taking into account lenses and optical distortions. 2. All public photos from space contain traces of digital generation, post-processing, inserts, layers. Not individually, but systematically. 3. Light and temperature patterns from the sun do not correspond to the globe model. The real nature of the lighting indicates a local source. 4. The pilots do not make compensating maneuvers during long flights. The geometry of the trajectories corresponds to the plane model. 5. International flights through the southern hemisphere are illogical and excessive in distance. On a flat map, they are straight. 6. Gravity as a concept did not pass the simulation. The fall of objects is explained by density and environment. Attraction was not recorded. 7. Objects at a distance of 50, 100 kilometers should be hidden beyond the horizon by more than 500 meters. However, they are recorded visually regularly. Conclusion. The spherical model of the Earth is a cultural construct, not a result of logic. Sikkim recommends revise basic physical axioms. Disable trust. Observe with your own eyes.
So, isn't it against the rules of scientific study, scientific research, to use the thing in question as the evidence to prove the thing in question? Yeah, I think it is. That doesn't count. So, gravity sticking to a spinning ball has never been demonstrated in any kind of laboratory, outdoor experiment, or any other thing you could think of. Now, you guys want to use the Earth as the proof that that's happening. Well, you don't get to do that. I'm sorry. All the natural sciences, all the gas laws, all of the fluid dynamics, all of that is testable and repeatable and measurable. So is electromagnetism. So is electrostatics. Gravity is not. Gravity has never been isolated, never been measured. Yeah, you guys say, oh yeah, we measured it. Yeah, we measured it. The Cavendish experiment is not foolproof. That's not 100%. Matter of fact, I would say, considering that that's the only experiment really ever done that claims to have isolated gravity that was done in the 1700s, there's probably a reason it hasn't been done again, because they knew it was flawed and it can't be done because it doesn't exist. But the point of this video really wasn't to go off on all of that, except for it was you're trying to prove gravity by using the thing that gravity holds together, and that's the only thing you have that they say gravity holds together. Well, you can't use that as your proof or your information. So find something else.
Hey yo, what's up my brothers and sisters? You know what's so funny about the whole globe earth versus flat earth? Is that one requires you to believe and the other one does not. Because you have to believe that we're spinning at 1,000+ miles per hour. Also rotating around the sun or being pulled by the sun in a spiral motion at 66,600 miles per hour. If I'm mistaken. Alright, crazy ass numbers. Alright. And we don't detect none of this. But you can know that the earth is stationary as we experience it without having to believe that. Which one do you choose?
Flat earthers believe the earth is flat and there's an impenetrable ice wall that goes around the disk.
Okay.
Then there's a firmament, great dome that encapsulates the flat earth and everything in it. They believe that the sun and the moon rotate around the outer edge of the disk. Debunkers are always like, there's not that many scriptures, it doesn't say, but there's actually a lot if you really start digging into it. NASA will tell you that the earth orbits around the sun, yet Joshua stopped the sun and the moon.
You have Hezekiah and the story of the sundial going backwards 10 degrees. Even in Genesis, where do you see God spin the earth and send it into orbit around something not even made for 4 days? Because he doesn't make the sun until 4 days later in the creation account. Psalms 19, I think it's 1-6. For the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit, this is speaking of the sun, unto the ends of the earth, and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. Sounds like the sun is moving in a circuit or circle, not the earth. Pig, you were bringing this up. There are over 60 scriptures that reference the sun, the moon, and the stars moving. And do you know how many references there are to the earth moving or spinning in an orbital or otherwise motion?
How many?
Several.
You guys, my friend just sent me pictures of his high altitude weather balloon from Sweden. Want to see him? It's 33,000 meters high, which is 108,000 feet. So just to remind everybody, according to mainstream science, Earth has 7 motions. Most of you guys probably didn't even know that. But yes, 7 of them. This is what you're defending. But reality says different. Flat horizon, no curve, still at eye level, no spin, no blur, no atmospheric chaos, just calm, flat, and silent. And look, it even got the sun. Boop! Everything's spinning, elliptical orbiting, being pulled by the sun. Everything's traveling 500,000 miles an hour. Chaotic chaos. And when you have 108,000 feet up in the air, that is 3 times higher than commercial jets. And thank you, Richard, and to your friend. You didn't have to share these photos with me, and you did. And I appreciate that so much. The entire Flat Earth community appreciates this. The entire biblical Earth community appreciates these pictures. And I am honored to have friends like you all over this beautiful Earth. So you need to tell me that this thing right here is 93 million miles away, and that we are doing elliptical orbits around it at 66,600 miles per hour. And this weather balloon that was sent up with a cell phone camera was able to get a clear shot of the sun that's supposedly 93 million miles away. Stop it. Just so you know, that there is nothing that is human-made that can zoom in on something that is 93 million miles away. Yet, a cell phone that's sent up with a weather balloon can get a shot of it. Nikon P1000s can zoom in on it. And telescopes can zoom in on it. Not only do we not have the technology to zoom in on something that's 1 million miles away, let alone 93 million miles away, yet there it is. And if it's 400 times bigger than the Earth, why isn't all of this lit up? Local light. Local sun.
Globe easily debunked in 30 seconds. They say we're this little tiny speck of nothing with the pressurized system. Imagine a little tiny Earth you can't even see here with the atmosphere. In the ever-expanding infinite vacuum of fake outer space. First off, you can't demonstrate pressure without a container. Second, you can't have a vacuum without containment. And third, you damn sure can't have a pressurized system inside of a vacuum without any containment. Until you can demonstrate that, which you can't because it violates all natural laws, all gas laws, second law of thermodynamics, your globe is cooked. Your globe is unalive. Your globe never existed. Only in your imagination and your indoctrination. Rip globe.
In 1897, a New York newspaper published a map showing the Earth as a flat plane. This is a full map of the entire Earth, as it was published by the New York Journal on January 31st, 1897. This was mainstream media putting a flat Earth front and center for the public to see. Why would a respected newspaper publish this? What did they know back then that we're not being told now? It was detailed, illustrated, and printed for millions to read. And here's what's even stranger. They never retracted it. History books ignore this. Science books pretend it never happened. But the archives don't lie. In the late 1800s, there were still entire societies that rejected the globe model. Some claimed the truth was being hidden by governments and elite scientific institutions. Could this 1897 article be a glimpse into what we weren't supposed to know? Ask yourself, why was this erased from history? What else have we been told that's not the full story?
The flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni and he lived between 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Eddie Alenkar. Known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo, I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional mapmaker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my online store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.